The city morning was a blur of hurried footsteps and honking cars. For Mai, it was just another race against the clock. Darting through the crowd, she stepped onto the street, her mind already in the office. Suddenly, the screech of tires tore through the air. A sleek black car swerved violently, stopping just inches from her. The window rolled down, revealing a handsome but furious face. It was Min. "Watch where you're going," he yelled, his voice sharp with annoyance. "You could have been hurt," I startled and flustered shot back. "Well, you could have slowed down." A brief heated argument followed, fueled by morning rush and misunderstanding. They parted ways with a glare, neither knowing their paths were about to cross again, and in a much more complicated way. Maya finally made it to her desk, her heart still pounding from the near miss. Just as she was catching her breath, the office manager announced the arrival of the new director. The door to the conference room opened, and in walked the man from the Carmen. Mai's jaw dropped. She wanted the ground to swallow her whole. Throughout the entire meeting, she could feel his eyes on her, but his expression was unreadable. He introduced himself and laid out his vision for the company, his voice calm and professional, completely ignoring her presence. Mai's face burned with embarrassment as she sat through his presentation. The moment the meeting ended, the office was abuzz. Whispers followed Mai down the hallway. "Did you see how the new director looked at her? Heard they had a fight this morning." I tried to ignore the gossip, her pride stinging. She wouldn't let this situation make her look weak. She'd just have to work harder and prove herself. Later that day, in his new, spacious office, Min reviewed the employee files. When he got to Mai's, he paused. Performance reviews were outstanding, her project proposals innovative. A flicker of admiration, an unwilling smile, touched his lips. He was impressed, despite their disastrous first encounter. Meanwhile, Mai threw herself into her work with renewed determination. She was going to show him she was more than just a clumsy pedestrian. She would be so good at her job that he'd have no choice but to respect her. The day dragged on, filled with tension. Finally, a message popped up on her screen. "Mai, please come to my office." Her heart leaped into her throat. This was it. She walked into his office, the air thick with awkwardness. He gestured for her to sit, his face a mask of professionalism. "I've reviewed your proposal for the new marketing campaign," he began, his tone all business. "It's a strong concept." He then proceeded to point out several areas for improvement, his suggestions sharp, insightful, and surprisingly helpful. He wasn't trying to undermine her. He was genuinely trying to make the project better. As he spoke, Mai found herself listening intently. His passion for the work was evident. For the first time, she saw a different side of him, and a tiny part of her was touched by his sincerity. Maybe, just maybe, he wasn't the arrogant jerk she thought he was. As soon as the workday ended, Mai rushed to a nearby cafe to meet her best friend Lan. Over coffee, she recounted the entire mortifying day. From the morning's argument to the awkward office meeting, "I can't believe it, Lan. My new boss is the guy I almost got run over by." Lan listened, a mischievous glint in her eye. "Wait a minute," she said, leaning forward. "He argues with you, then ignores you in a meeting, but then gives you constructive feedback." "Mai, are you sure he do? You know?" "Like you?" Mai scoffed. "Like me? He hates me?" Should have seen the look on his face. But Lan's words planted a tiny seed of doubt. Meanwhile, across town, Min leaned back in his office chair, the city lights twinkling outside. He found himself replaying the morning's encounter, a slow smile spreading across his face. Mai arrived home, exhausted. Her mom, noticing her weary expression, asked, "Tough day at work, sweetie?" I just nodded, not wanting to get into the messy details. She retreated to her room, her mind a jumble of thoughts. Just then, her phone buzzed. A message from Min. Her heart skipped a beat. Was he apologizing? Was he firing her? She opened it anxiously. It was a follow-up email with more notes on the project. Purely professional, nothing more. Yet as she read his words, a strange flutter started in her chest. She couldn't quite explain the feeling, a mix of disappointment and something else, something she didn't want to name. Later that night, Mai found herself working overtime, refining the proposal based on Min's feedback. But her mind kept drifting. She remembered the intensity in his eyes when he spoke about the project, the way his brow furrowed in concentration. She shook her head, trying to focus. It was just work. It had to be. Miles away, Min decided to take a walk to clear his head. The city streets were quieter now, the air cool. He wandered aimlessly, lost in thought about the whirlwind of his first day, about a certain feisty employee with surprisingly brilliant ideas. As he turned a corner onto a quiet, tree-lined street, he stopped. Under the soft glow of a street lamp stood Mai, looking up at the night sky. She turned and their eyes met. Surprise flickered across both their faces. A moment they just stared at each other, the bustling city fading into the background. It was Min who broke the silence. "Working late?" he asked, his voice softer than she'd ever heard it. Mai nodded, feeling a little self-conscious. Just trying to get ahead on the campaign. An unexpected quiet settled between them. Not awkward this time, but comfortable. "Mind if I walk with you?" Min asked. Surprised, Mai agreed. As they walked, the stilted formality of the office melted away. They talked about their favorite coffee shops, the best places for lunch, little things that made them seem less like a boss and an employee and more like two people. Min found himself watching the way her face lit up when she smiled, and Mai realized with a start that the cold, intimidating director was actually nice. As they continued their stroll, the conversation deepened. Min spoke a little about his family, about the pressure of stepping into this new role. Hearing him talk about his own vulnerabilities made him seem more human. Encouraged by his openness, Mai found herself sharing her own anxieties about work, her fear of not living up to expectations. It felt good to be honest, to be seen not just as a subordinate but as a person with her own struggles. Suddenly, a fat drop of rain landed on her nose, then another and another. Within seconds, the sky opened up and a torrential downpour began. Before Mai could even react, Min grabbed her hand. "This way." He yelled over the sound of the rain, pulling her under the narrow awning of a closed bookshop. "Ow!" They stood huddled together, the world outside a curtain of gray. They were so close she could feel the warmth radiating from him. Hear the steady beat of his heart, or was that her own, pounding in her ears? The scent of rain and his subtle cologne filled the small space. The air crackled with an unspoken energy. Min looked down at her, her hair damp and clinging to her face. Without a word, he slipped off his suit jacket and draped it over her shoulders. The fabric was warm and smelled of him. Mai's cheeks flushed a deep crimson. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice barely audible over the drumming rain. They stood in silence, the rain showing no signs of stopping, their chance encounter turning into something unexpectedly intimate. The rain finally softened to a drizzle. "I'll drive you home," Min said, his voice a low rumble. The car ride was quiet, but it was a comfortable silence, filled with the soft hum of the engine and the swish of the windshield wipers. When they pulled up to her apartment, Mai turned to him. "Thank you for the ride." In the jacket. He just smiled. "Get some rest, Mai." She got out of the car, clutching his jacket tightly. Through the rain-streaked window, she watched him, a strange, wonderful fluttering sensation taking over her heart. As Min drove away, he glanced at his rearview mirror, a wide, genuine smile, finally breaking through his cool exterior. The city, the rain, the girlet, was all starting to feel like the beginning of something special. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the next chapter of their story.